What if I told you that some of the best financial advice out there, the kind that can actually protect you from huge losses and help you build real wealth, was written over 70 years ago? And yet, the most important lessons are the ones we still manage to ignore. We've all heard of the intelligent investor, right? Well, get ready to have some of your biggest assumptions turned upside down. Benjamin Graham's The Intelligent Investor isn't just a book, it's a legend. It's often called the Bible of value investing, and even Warren Buffett said it's by far the best book on investing ever written. But here's the thing, beyond the usual advice about buying undervalued companies, there are these layers of insight that are surprisingly counterintuitive. Honestly, they're pretty mind-blowing when you really get what they mean for everyday investors like us, especially in today's wild markets. Lots of people hear the title and think, oh, that's just about complicated math or old-school market tactics. But the real magic of Graham, it's often hidden in ideas so basic, they're easy to just skim over. Today, we're not just scratching the surface. We're digging into 7 genuinely surprising lessons from this masterpiece that give you practical, game-changing advice. These aren't just dusty old theories, they're actionable insights that can totally reshape how you think about building wealth. Lesson number 1, your main goal isn't making the most money, it's losing the least. Alright, this first one really got me because it goes against everything we're taught. The investment world is obsessed with massive returns, right? We're all chasing that next hot stock, dreaming of that one huge win. But Graham, he flips this idea completely. He says pretty forcefully that the smart investor's number one job isn't to chase huge profits, but to carefully, diligently make sure you don't suffer a big unrecoverable loss. Sounds almost too simple, maybe even a bit boring, doesn't it? But it's incredibly strategic. Graham knew that holding on to your capital, especially when the market tanks, is the foundation of long-term success. It's about making sure you're still in the game to play tomorrow. Think about it. If you lose 50% on an investment, you need a 100% gain just to get back to where you started. By focusing on protecting your money through solid analysis, always demanding a margin of safety, more on that later, and sticking to conservative valuations, you're basically building a financial fortress. This fortress can shield you from those crazy market bubbles and the recessions that can wipe people out when they only chase the upside. This was a huge eye-opener for me. Intelligent investing isn't about being a daredevil, it's about smart defense. And with today's constant market noise and super-fast trading, this idea of minimizing loss is more important, and more surprisingly missed, than ever. Lesson number 2. A stock isn't a lotto ticket, it's owning a piece of a real business. You see those ticker symbols flashing, prices bouncing all over the place? It's so easy to get sucked into the casino vibe of it all. A lot of folks treat stocks like they're just betting on a company's next earnings report. Graham just cuts right through that noise with a simple but totally game-changing idea. A stock isn't just a fluctuating price or a gambling chip, it's a genuine slice of ownership in an actual running business. When that clicks, it changes everything. Once you really get that you're buying a part of a company with its buildings, its people, its products, its debts, and its ability to make money in the future, your whole way of looking at it shifts. You start asking the questions a real business owner would ask. Is this company financially solid? Does it have a good spot in the market? Is the management team any good? And are they honest? This way of thinking pushes you to look at the company's actual performance, instead of getting mesmerized by the daily ups and downs or what the media is hyping. It pulls you away from emotional, short-term trading and grounds you in smart, long-term decisions. This lesson blew my mind because it's so incredibly obvious, yet so many people ignore it in the chaos of modern trading. Lesson number 3, the market is your moody servant, not your all-knowing master. Meet Mr. Market. This might be Graham's most famous idea, his story of Mr. Market, but people often miss how deep it really is. He asks you to imagine you have a business partner, Mr. Market, Every day he shows up offering to either buy your share of the business or sell you his. The catch, his prices are all over the map. Some days Mr. Market is super optimistic and names a ridiculously high price. Other days he's incredibly down and offers you a price that's way less than the business is actually worth. The surprising thing here isn't just that the market has mood swings, it's about how you deal with this emotional character. Graham says the intelligent investor should not let Mr. Market's daily drama dictate their decisions or how they feel. You are completely free to ignore him. His quotes are there for your convenience, not as instructions. You use Mr. Market's irrational moods to your advantage, buying when his doom and gloom creates bargains and maybe selling or just holding on when his crazy optimism pushes prices too high. You don't ask Mr. Market for advice, you look at his offers and decide if they fit your own analysis of what something is worth. This was mind-blowing because it gives power back to the individual investor against what feels like the huge, unstoppable market. It teaches you to think for yourself, instead of just following the often irrational crowd. With 24/7 financial news and social media shouting at us, remembering Mr. Market is your servant, not your guide, is a pretty powerful defense. Lesson number 4, the margin of safety is your financial seatbelt. And honestly, it's kind of like your airbag and probably the bumpers too. If there's one idea Graham really drills into you as the absolute heart of smart investing, it's the margin of safety. This isn't just a catchy phrase, it's a serious risk management tool. The concept is pretty simple. Only buy something when its market price is way below what you've carefully calculated its real or intrinsic value to be. That gap, that discount, is your margin of safety. So why is this so surprising and honestly kind of mind-blowing? Because it forces you to admit something a lot of us try to ignore: you will make mistakes. No matter how much homework you do, the future is always uncertain. Your numbers can be off, unexpected stuff can happen in an industry, or the whole economy can just take a nosedive. The margin of safety is your cushion against these goofs in judgment, surprise, bad news, and the market's natural ups and downs. It's what protects your initial investment from taking a major hit. Graham thought this was the single most important rule for any investor. It's not about finding a stock that's just 5% undervalued, it's about looking for a big enough discount that gives you serious protection. This takes patience and discipline, and it often means you'll pass on those popular stocks everyone else is jumping on. It's a surprisingly strong way to defend yourself in a world that often pushes you to take wild chances. Lesson number 5. Price isn't just a small detail, it's almost everything. In our world, where we're often obsessed with big brand names, we tend to think that if something is high quality, it must be a good buy. We figure a fantastic company with cool products and amazing leaders is automatically a great investment. Graham kind of throws a bucket of cold water on that idea with a lesson that can feel almost wrong at first. Even the best company in the world can be a terrible investment if you pay too much for its stock. And on the flip side, a company that seems just okay can be a really good investment if you can get it at a super low price. This was a shocker because it makes you laser focused on valuation. Graham says over and over that your future return on any investment depends massively on the price you pay for it. Chasing story stocks or hot sectors without carefully looking at their current price tag is just asking for trouble. This doesn't mean quality doesn't matter. Graham definitely believed in investing in solid businesses, but he stressed that you absolutely cannot ignore the price. The market can, and often does, overvalue even the greatest companies, especially when everyone's caught up in a speculative frenzy. The intelligent investor knows that a great company at a bad price is a bad investment, and a fair company at a great price can be a fantastic one. This disciplined, price-aware approach is often what separates investors who do well consistently from those who just ride market bubbles up and then come crashing down. It's a surprisingly powerful way to filter out all the hype. Lesson number 6. Diversification isn't just for newbies, it's essential armor. A lot of people think diversification is just a strategy for folks who don't know how to pick winners, or maybe it's a watered-down way to invest that limits your big gains. But Graham shows us that diversification isn't a compromise. It's actually a key part of a safe and smart investment plan. He strongly advises against putting all your financial eggs in one basket, no matter how strong that basket looks. The surprising thing here is why we diversify. It's not just about spreading your risk around randomly, it's a specific way to reduce the damage if any single investment goes belly up, protecting your whole portfolio. No matter how much research you do, individual companies can run into unexpected problems, entire industries can get disrupted, or sometimes, companies just don't perform. Spreading your money across different companies, industries, and even different types of assets helps to smooth out your returns over time. It makes sure that if one investment does poorly, it doesn't wreck your entire financial future. For the average investor, who probably doesn't have the time or specialized knowledge to become an expert on just a few companies, this idea is crucial. It's a surprisingly humble way of admitting that we can't predict the future perfectly, so we need to build portfolios that can handle the unexpected. This isn't about watering down your returns. It's about survival and aiming for steady long-term growth. Lesson number 7. Your character, not your IQ, is what really decides your investing success. This last lesson is maybe the most profoundly surprising, and for a lot of people the hardest one to really let sink in. In a field that seems to be all about complicated software, fancy financial models, and super smart analysts, Graham argues that your success as an investor will ultimately come down more to your temperament and emotional discipline than your raw brainpower or technical skills. This blew my mind because it means successful investing isn't just for a select few. You don't need to be a Wall Street genius or a math whiz. What you do need, according to Graham, is patience, discipline, a willingness to learn, and the ability to fight off those emotional roller coasters of fear and greed that constantly sweep through the market. Being able to think critically, have a healthy dose of skepticism about what the market experts are saying, and the guts to act independently, often going against the crowd, are way more valuable than being able to build a complex spreadsheet. The investor's biggest problem, and often their own worst enemy, is likely to be themselves. Understanding and getting a handle on your own emotional reactions to market swings is the ultimate key. This is a lifelong journey, but just recognizing how incredibly important it is the first and most surprising step toward becoming a truly intelligent investor. So, there you have it, 7 lessons from the intelligent investor that genuinely changed how I look at investing wisely. They aren't about getting rich quick or finding secret formulas. They're about a timeless, sensible, and surprisingly practical way to build and protect your wealth. They teach us to focus on avoiding big mistakes, to think like business owners, to use the market's craziness to our advantage, to always demand that margin of safety, to get that price is king, to diversify smartly, and most importantly, to master our own emotions. If any of these ideas clicked with you, I seriously encourage you to pick up The Intelligent Investor. Now I'll admit it can be a dense read, as some will tell you, but the wisdom inside is priceless. What are your most surprising takeaways from Graham, or what investing lesson totally blew your mind? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd really love to hear them. And hey, if you found this breakdown helpful, please give this video a like, and maybe consider subscribing for more explorations of timeless investing wisdom. It really helps the channel out. Thanks for watching, and here's to all of us becoming more intelligent investors, together.